Eric, thanks for making time for me today.
Andy, it's a pleasure, man. Always good to see you, brother. Super stoked that you were able to find the time to come down here.
Yeah, man, I really always love talking to you because, man, you got such a rich history, man. And like what we've seen at Simpson Labs has been amazing. And like the way it's grown, you guys are growing so much. If you wouldn't mind, like, I know some people are going to be listening to this, and, you guys are an informed manufacturer with us, and we're very proud of that relationship. But tell me a little bit about Simpson Labs, your history, where you're located, and then like just a little bit about, maybe the customers you service.
Yeah, appreciate that. It's very humbling. I definitely didn't get this far by myself. We have an amazing group that works here that dedicates so much time and energy. It's more of a family-oriented company, unlike some other manufacturings out there. We just run things a little bit different here. We treat everybody the same, from janitorial, all the way up to vice president. Everyone's just as equal. But yeah, their hard work and dedication truly is the heart and soul of this company. So I'm truly proud on everything that they've helped us accomplish. But yeah, I founded Simpson Labs back in 2015. And yeah, we've been very fortunate and lucky that Simpson Labs has grown into being one of the leaders of supplement manufacturing here in the United States. And we service, all the way across North America, Canada, Europe, Middle East, Australia, and a lot of other places out there. So we're just continuing to expand our horizon on a daily basis, and it's super grateful. So
yeah, I noticed that when I got here was like that family atmosphere from when I walked in the door, from when we went around to everybody we interacted with. Everybody had a smile on their face. You said hi to everybody. Everybody was like, kind to us, said hi to us, holding doors open, everything, and so it really shows. And, you guys do service a global market, and that really kind of coincides with the informed sport, informed choice, certifications that we have. And you guys being an informed manufacturer, that's a big thing for us. And like, if you wouldn't mind, like, kind of talk to me a little bit about like what influenced you guys to want to get to be an informed manufacturer.
yeah, so great question. So we have GMP certifications through 2 different certified body holders, certified organic, EU, Health Canada, many other ones. But the one that I really was interested in getting into was informed, because they're a lot different than some of the other certified body holders out there for banned substances. And I knew that taking on informed choice certification would end up me losing some of the brands that I was currently working with, but I had to look at the overall bigger picture as to what brands and accounts and athletes that we would have the opportunity to manufacture for. So I had to weigh it out, but it was finally time. So yeah, we applied to get certification, and you and your team came out here, and we crushed it on the first audit. So
Yeah.
Kudos to our regulatory team for getting all that done in such a short amount of time. But yeah, at the end of the day, it really helps us stay on the straight and narrow. So basically, it keeps us from like, do we want to bring in this ingredient? Do we want to do that? No, the answer is no. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We cannot bring it in. Will not bring it in. So it's just not worth it.
Well, and for us on that side, we kind of look at it as like, okay, we're going to recommend a manufacturer for our brands who are going to be going through this, very specific type of testing. And, it's different testing than anything else because we're doing down to parts per billion. We want to have that reassurance that when we send them to somebody that they're well taken care of in every aspect, but there's no like slip ups, there's no surprises. And so when we send them to you, we feel very comfortable doing that because of the quality assurance that comes on this. And so something you said that I thought was really interesting, you're like, man, I had to really look at who was I working with before. And you're like, yeah, the ROI on this is worth it. Would that be a correct?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The ROI turned over within a matter of months. I mean, at the end of the day, the certification cost is not that much for us to be a certified manufacturer. But on the other scope of things, for the brands to actually want to join in and get certified on their products, the cost is not that much as well. They're definitely going to see their return on their ROI as well very quickly.
Well, when you talk about money too, like one of the big things people don't realize is back in the day when an athlete would test positive, it was like, hey man, you're out of here. You're not, you don't get to play no more.
Yeah.
Now everybody lawyers up. And so when they lawyer up, everybody gets sued. The brand gets sued. The manufacturer can get sued. Maybe the dietitian or the strength coach or the school or whoever. Everyone will get named. And so when you're an informed manufacturer and you're doing this kind of testing, and then also on top of that, you have third-party testing through Informed Sport, Informed Choice, you're looking at money. Well, you know what? Hey, this is a little bit of an insurance policy because they're like, hey, look, man, this is the one place you're going to have a least likely to have problems is from here. So you might want to look somewhere else. And I'm not saying that's going to go that way all the time in a lawsuit, but like many times, when they see our marks and they know your history, I think that does make a huge difference on the trajectory of things.
Yeah, definitely. Well said. Well said. At the end of the day, being able to have the opportunity to working with some of these brands that we're currently working with and athletes, we have a massively large responsibility. Their lives, their reputations are basically on our shoulders. We have to make sure that we're doing everything to par. We're testing every ingredient. We're making sure that no banned substances whatsoever gets any type of cross-contamination in any areas of our facilities. Because at the end of the day, if one of these athletes gets popped, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to come, well, who manufactured this? They're going to come banging on our door. And nobody wants that. So we want to make sure that everything is done, 100% correct every single time.
Well, and what I think a lot of people don't understand, they're like, oh, what's it really mean, informed manufacturer? Well, we come throughout your facility and we swab the place down looking for banned substances.
Your people just show up whenever they want. I was downstairs, a couple of months ago, and I see somebody coming by, in a schmuck and a hairnet, and I didn't recognize this person. And then it turned out they worked for Informed. They were sitting there doing swab tests on one of our random fillers.
Yeah.
Great. But of course, everything came back fine. So
everything comes back fine. So that's the reassurance, through the quality checks ahead of time and, MAQ assessments and things of that nature. So it really makes a difference. So like, would you say I think a lot of times people are like, oh, GMP, and GMP is awesome. It's great. I'm glad we have it. But I always tell people like a lot of what we do is it goes above and beyond GMP. And so for internal operations, I think it changes things just a little bit in maybe a positive way.
Yeah, I agree with that. The regulation aspect of it is far more beyond just the standard FDA and GMP regulations. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. But, like I said, it keeps everybody on their heels and it assures that everything is going to test out every single time. So.
And it tells kind of a story for a brand because it talks about the mitigation of risk.
Do that one.
From like start to end. It's like, hey, we're making sure where it's made is okay, and then we're testing it, and it's still okay. So there's like from cradle to grave, we're making sure that whoever's taking this is getting the highest quality. All right, Eric, tell me a little bit. What do you think that the commercial ROI has been for becoming an informed manufacturer?
Yeah, the ROI here was it was a no-brainer. I mean, achieving the certification, I knew that by eliminating some of the ingredients we were going to have to use, we would lose a ton of brands, which we already knew that was going to end up happening. But looking at the bigger picture, we knew it was the right decision because at the end of the day, there was newer opportunities out there, new sporting agencies, athletes, athletic-driven brands were going to want to see this certification. So therefore, we went out and achieved it.
Well, and I think one thing I noticed when we were talking, we were like guys who are in the industry know what's going on and the trends, and there's a 90% of the population, 80-90% that's not getting drug tested, and I think they want that Olympic level quality. And so, you spend a lot of money on commercial ROI on a lot of things. This is something you can say, hey, the same thing an Olympic athlete is taking, you're taking. And that, like, more people are taking supplements than they ever have been. And so this is something that adds to that. And it's like, wow, if someone in the Olympics could take this, I want to take it too.
Well said. Well said.
All right. So what was really cool was seeing everything today, Eric. And like one thing I wanted to ask you was, how does the certification benefit the brands that come and work with you? Like what's stuff that you point out to them that like really sets you apart because of being certified?
Well, yeah, being certified by a globally recognized third party like Informed Choice, it assures our customers that their products are being made in a facility that makes the highest standards of quality, safety, as well as integrity. So for this certification, it enhances brand trust, especially among athletes, healthcare professionals, and sensitive consumers as well.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And like, you know, like back to, you know, what we talked about before, where there was like more people taking supplements now than ever before, you know, it's kind of like what differentiates your product compared to the next guy. And I think one of the things you can easily point to is not just third party certification, but how it's made, where it's made, the quality it's made, stuff like that. And I mean, obviously, like you guys are doing everything right here. I mean, from, you know, the GMP stuff all the way to the banned substance testing stuff. And that's something that like it's a story that convinces people to trust a brand. So one of the things I wanted to ask you is we have some of this new incentivization for informed manufacturers. There's kind of a new structure where it's a win-win. You know, you're able to kind of help the brands with certification fees, but we're also working with you for the brands that you bring us, helping incentivize you to do that, which then helps with recertification for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, is that something that, you know, you find helpful? Is that something that you really like? Because like for us, what we wanted to do was really be a good partner, and, you know, being a good partner is knowing what you guys need. So can you speak to, you know, like how does that help you guys?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps as well. I mean, being certified is definitely very expensive. Everybody knows that. You know, there's a lot of training that goes in. It's not just the certification fees, it's the training, you know, the new procedures, the protocols, SOPs. There's a whole line of different items to check off. But yes, incentivizing definitely helps. It helps you guys, it helps the brand, it helps the manufacturer. But, you know, like you said, any brands that come over to us, we are a certified manufacturer for Informed. Therefore, both the brand and Simpson Labs is going to reap the benefits of getting discounts.
Right. And that's the big thing is we want people to be working with our partners. And so when people come to us, they're like, hey, we don't even have a manufacturer. Who would you recommend? We'll recommend our informed manufacturers first, which is good for the brand because, you know, they're getting that discount off their certification fees. But also, if you have existing brands who then you're like, hey, have you ever thought about Informed Choice or Informed Sport? That's a way we can say, hey, thanks for bringing these guys to us and let us help you with your recertification fees. So everybody's winning. And, you know, that kind of quality assurance gets spread around. So I think it's a win-win, you know, and if you consider the brand, it's another win. So, you know, that's what real partnership's about. It's not just like, oh, here, pay us some money.
Yeah.
And here's a mark. You know, it's like, hey, we want you to grow. And like, how can you grow with Informed? How is this a useful tool for you? You know, not just like something you just slap on a label.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day is partnerships, you know, with Informed, with us as the manufacturer, with the brand, you know, everybody working together at the end of the day, it's only going to build up the business for all three legs.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, when they asked me, they said, hey, who do you want to target for this? I said, oh, Simpson Labs. Immediately came to mind because of you, because that's the thing is like you and I've known each other for a long time, and I know like kind of the passion you have in manufacturing and how you've grown this business, but also there's a certain level of quality that you expect. And you're like, and I remember when you became, you know, an informed manufacturer, it's like, hey, oh, we ought to do this because this is something that coincides with the type of quality we're trying to, you know, push out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, this is the best guy. So, and so there's a lot of manufacturers out there and they're all good, but like you and I have been friends for a long time and like I've got to see you grow and like that's the kind of quality that causes growth. And so we really appreciate you guys being partners with us.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that as well. And again, it all goes hand in hand. The bigger all of us grow, the better it gets for everybody because you get more buying power,
Yep.
more certification, more recognition. I mean, it all just, adds to the top line at the end of the day. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you was like, you're an informed manufacturer. Like, how do you use that? Like, give me an example, for example, with like brands that are existing. Do you say, hey, look, you guys have grown, or hey, you guys are trying to get into this market. You got to look at these guys over at Informed Sport, Informed Choice. We are an informed manufacturer, Or do you like new brands that come to you? Do you say, hey, you know what? You guys might want to go Informed Sport on this because this would really help you. Like, how do you kind of bring up the manufacturer, Informed Sport, Informed Choice?
Yeah, great question. Usually I'll start it off with some of our current brands. Like an example, there's a brand that we deal with that's on Amazon and they've been with us for many, many years and they absolutely crush it. But it's not sports nutrition related. It's more of a general wellness type brand. And my customer friend, hit me up about 2 months ago and he asked, what do I got to do to continue to grow my brand? I have, 30 plus SKUs. I don't want to bring any more in. Is there something I can do? Is there something you can recommend? Should we reformulate it? Should we rebrand? And I told him straight up, why don't you look into getting, Informed Choice certified? Because think about it. You're sitting there selling to all the general wellness population out there, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But maybe there's athletes, maybe there's certain, demographics out there that are just skipping through your brand online because you're not Informed Choice. Maybe these athletes get drug tested and they don't trust your product because it doesn't have that stamp of approval on it. So that definitely raised his eyebrow, and he became more and more interested, and that's when I connected you with him.
Yeah.
And then now they're Informed Choice certified and they're super stoked. And it's too soon right now to see how big or how much that has added value to their business because we just shipped the first lot a couple of weeks ago. But I do see bigger things happening for him, and him and the team are super excited. So
Yeah, and that kind of speaks, I think, to the general population wanting more and more certifications, reassurance of quality, and then you're like, yeah, choice is used by athletes, but like, I mean, everybody wants to be an athlete. So I mean, I don't want to say that for everyone, I guess, but like, they want that athletic quality. Like, hey, if an Olympian's going to use this, I'd sure use it. You know what? My kid can use it. If I was going to go buy something for my kids, I'd want it to be third-party tested.
mm-hmm.
So I think it's a strong way to look at it too.
Yeah, definitely. And to go back to your question earlier, yes, I actually do bring this up to new brands that we help develop. A lot of times people come to us with their ideas and we'll help navigate them. And some have absolutely zero clue what they want, and that's
Yeah.
fine. And we'll help guide them and help build out their brand. But they always say, the same thing. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be different. Well, it's not always about the ingredients that are in there or that it tastes good. You got to also look at the quality of the product. And if you want to assure that the rest of the world out there knows that you're taking it seriously with quality, go for the Informed Choice certification. So
Yeah. And that's why I always like talk about it. It's like, hey, we're third party. We're not selling your product. We're just verifying these things are being done.
Yeah.
And we're testing it for banned substances, which, you probably don't want to have in there anyway. So we appreciate the partnership and just kind of how we've kind of grown together, over the last few years. So we're looking for a lot more growth between us and hopefully like other manufacturers that see this, the growth that you've seen, I think correlates with the quality that you put out. So definitely appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Appreciate all the support as well, man. Partnership's great. And I truly appreciate you taking the time coming all the way down here. I know it was a long haul, but yeah, it's much appreciated. And it's always good to see you, man.
Oh yeah, same here, man.
Cool, brother.
Thank you.